Hey Starry readers, or should I say, Starship Commanders. What's up, my name's Warren, and I'm back with a new video. And today I'm making probably my highest requested video that I've ever received for this channel, and that is my sci-fi recommendations video. So many of you guys, since I started this channel, have been commenting and asking me, please, can you recommend some great sci-fi novels? You seem to love sci-fi so much. I'd love to hear, what are some of your favorites? How do I get started in the genre? There's been lots and lots of questions asked about doing a sci-fi recommendations video. So today, that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to go on a journey through light speed, and we're going to be visiting 5 of my favorite science fiction books. Seriously though, today I'm recommending to you guys my top 5 favorite sci-fi reads because so many of you guys have asked me to do this, and I love sci-fi personally. It's my favorite genre. There's been 2 sci-fi releases this month, Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Zenith by Shasta Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. And on top of that, there's so many astronomical things happening. January is a very active month. We have like a 3-way supermoon, blue moon, and lunar eclipse happening at the end of this month. Also, for people in the northern hemisphere, the air is usually really cold in January because it's winter, so that makes the skies very clear and crisp, which is perfect for viewing the stars. And of course, I'm writing my own sci-fi novel, and I love space. I'm an amateur astronomer myself, and I just love it so much. And of course, for this video, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to wear my NASA t-shirt, which I really love. It's got like this paint splatter look that's supposed to look like stars, and it just looks awesome. I love this design. So with all that out of the way, let's engage our hyperdrives, and here are my top 5 sci-fi recommendations.
The spacecraft was a long way from home, but precisely because of the obscurity of our world thus revealed, such a picture might be worth having.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Number 1 is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. Now this is a great intro if you're new to sci-fi. This book, the best way I can describe it is Titanic in space. The cover of this book is also very beautiful, and it follows 2 characters named Lilac and Tarver. Lilac is the daughter of the richest man in the universe. He's like the mob ruler of the galaxy, and Tarver is a major in the military. And the 2 of them are on this fancy first-class starship called the Icarus, which, if you know your Greek mythology, Icarus was given wings made out of wax, and he flew too close to the sun, and the wax melted, and he fell into the sea and died. So of course, naturally, the starship Icarus suffers a catastrophic failure and crash lands on a planet, and Lilac and Tarver are the only 2 survivors. So they have to survive together and find out how to get off the planet. It's a very remote world, there's no civilization on it, and while they're there, they discover some secrets about the universe. And of course, amidst all of this, when you're in life or death survival situations, naturally, there's a little bit of romance in this book. And there are 3 books in this series. It is a trilogy. It's called the Starbound Trilogy, and I have the other 2. They are companion novels, so they all feature different characters, but they do have a very continuous storyline. So in addition to These Broken Stars, you also have This Shattered World, which follows 2 new characters named Jubilee and Flynn. And to me, I don't think this cover is as pretty as These Broken Stars, but this is also another really good book. And the last one is called Their Fractured Light, and I think I like this one the best next to These Broken Stars. The cover of this book is also extremely gorgeous. And this book follows 2 characters named Gideon and Sophia. And this is the 3rd companion novel. This kind of is like the finale. Highly recommend this series. I think it's so good. If you're new to sci-fi, this would be a great series to start off on. Number 2 on the list is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. And I have to admit, I hate this cover. I've seen some different covers of this book, and it looks way better. This cover is kind of like the cheesy Microsoft Paint version. However, this story is really good. This is about a girl named Rosemary who boards this spaceship, and they are off on an exploration to a far corner of the galaxy to find a new planet. The characters are great, and the scientific realism part of it is very well written, and I like it a lot. So this book, along with the Starbound Trilogy, are kind of like the beginner's intro to science fiction. Book number 3 on this list is Zodiac by Romina Russell. I also think that this cover is, again, very pretty. I have not read the rest of this series, but this book, Zodiac, is about a galactic society that lives on planets based off of the astrology signs, which correspond with each month of the year, so there are 12 signs. It follows a girl named Ro, who lives in a very scientifically realistic society. They look at the stars, they study them, and they study all of the different aspects of astrophysics. What's the study for stars called? Like stellarology or stellar physics, something like that. But Ro, she sees the stars differently. She sees them as constellations. She sees them as stories stories in the sky. However, then a disaster strikes and her zodiac sign is left in ruin, so she must now take up the mantle as leader of her sign. And when more disasters hit the planets of the other zodiac signs and each of them fall one by one, she starts suspecting that maybe it is the exiled 13th sign that is causing all these issues. It's a very cool mystery, and I think the cover is beautiful, and Romina Russell is, I think, very well known within the book community. And book number 4 is, of course, The Martian by Andy Weir. I've mentioned this book before, but I absolutely love this. This is one of my favorite books of all time. One of the most realistic sci-fi novels because it takes place in the near future. This book has been pretty popular over the past few years, and Andy Weir just came out with his new book, which is called Artemis, and I've not read that yet, so I can't recommend it until I read it and then decide if I think it's like worth recommending. But this book follows an astronaut named Mark Watney who is left behind on Mars by his crew when a deadly sandstorm hits their base. And so now that he's left behind, he has to use materials and resources that were abandoned when the crew left to basically survive until someone can come get him. So we follow Mark Watney as he writes these mission logs each day, which a day on Mars is called a sol because it's not quite as long as an Earth day. I just love the humor in this book. It is incredibly funny. Mark Watney is extremely optimistic even though he's stranded on Mars, which is probably one of the most inaccessible places for humans ever. But I really do love his wit and how smart he is. This book also has a lot of scientific technobabble stuff, so if you don't really understand astrophysics and how rockets work and stuff, you might be a little bit confused. He tries to make it pretty funny when he talks about it, but it could still be kind of confusing. So he just has to hang tight and survive up on Mars until NASA can rescue him, and it just has a great message of just explore the far reaches of our solar system, you know, the whole final frontier, go where no man's gone before, all that stuff. And it's a great inspiring book about just trying to go further and explore the stars, and I think that's awesome. And it also has a very personal connection to me because I read this book during a time when I was super stressed with school and stuff, and I just read through it and it really inspired me to just like keep working hard, and so it was like really comforting during that time. I highly recommend this book. It was awesome, and I also made a movie with Matt Damon. Most people probably heard about it. But yeah, so this book and movie adaptation are awesome. Highly recommend them. I love this. This is one of the things that just made me love sci-fi all the more. Man, I'm getting tired of talking. And the 5th book on my recommendations list is probably the most edgy and gritty and just gruesome book that I've probably read in the sci-fi genre so far, and that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I've mentioned this before several times on my channel. This book is awesome. I love this book so much, and the reason why it's number 5 on this list is because, like, probably the most rough sci-fi book I've ever read. Like, I guess it's considered YA, but I would say this is almost pushing, like, adult fiction because the characters in the book are about, like, 19, and this book is a space thriller. Basically, this is told in a dossier file format, so you have all of these mission logs and diagrams, countdowns, and just all sorts of stuff. And it follows the story of 2 characters named Katie and Ezra who live on a mining colony way out in the far reaches of the galaxy, and their mining colony is attacked, and so they flee on board 3 spaceships. And as they fly through interstellar space trying to reach a civilized solar system, the conditions on board these ships start getting worse and worse, and they're just in a disaster crisis mode, and they are being pursued by an enemy ship who attacked the colony. Ezra and Katie have to figure out how to just survive this disaster, how to get through to get to safety. And so it's a great story told as if it's a file you're reading in the aftermath of the actual event. As you read it, you just feel like you're there with everyone. This book is addicting. Like, when you start it, you can't put it down. And I mean literally you can't put it down because there's no chapter headings in this book. It's all just a gigantic file. So you just have to find a stopping point that's sufficient for you to put the book down for a break. Like, it's hard to do because you're just so hooked on it. Every page is a mystery. You just want to know what happens next. As of right now, because I haven't read anything further, this is probably my number 1 sci-fi series I would recommend is this series because it's just awesome. It plays on so many realistic astrophysics. It plays on so many sci-fi tropes, and I just love it so much. So those are all of my recommendations. I hope that helped you. I hope that gave you a good starting point if you're looking to get into sci-fi or if you just need some new books to read in the genre. I hope you guys found that helpful. I might do some more later on in the future, but those are definitely my top favorites. When I think of sci-fi, it's like those are the books that I love. I love stars, I love the astronomy. If you guys ever want me to do like a astronomy facts video, I might, even though it's kind of not related to booktube. It's something I'm super passionate about, so I'd be happy to do a video like that. But in conclusion, that is my recommendation video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, please leave a like on this video and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos. So I'll see you guys soon. I'm Commander Warren. Fly safe.